So I want to get personal with you guys today. How do you feel about that?
Right.
Want to get a little personal, want to get a little vulnerable. Let's talk about a topic, especially you. Let's talk about one of those topics that is very personal, and it's talking about trust. I know you've all heard someone say, and you've said yourself, I have trust issues. Being a hairdresser for 30 years, I've heard a lot of stories. I've had a lot of people sit in my chair and share a lot of things with me. And one of the most common things is people going through hard times and not feeling like they can trust others. And I think this topic really resonated with me, and why I wanted to talk with you guys is because I know that one of the things I feel like we have to constantly focus on is building our relationships with others. I feel like, we hear it all the time, we see it all the time, that there's this divide in the country, there's this divide in the world, there's just this divide between mankind. And I don't believe that. I mean, obviously we all know as spiritual beings we're all connected. But there's a lot of people that don't know they're spiritual beings. There's a lot of people that are kind of in the dark right now. And for those of us who know we're spiritual beings, we kind of have a duty and a job to be an example. And so one of the areas that I think we have to work on, because even as spiritual beings, we still have trust issues, is working on our trust issues and understanding that it's a universal feeling. We all feel it, and it's part of the human experience, but it's also something that we can work on. I've definitely been guilty of it, so it's been part of my healing journey to try and work on it. So I like to deep dive into things. I'm a researcher, and I like to deep dive into stuff on the internet, but when it comes to deep diving into trust, I'm having to deep dive into myself. And I'm having to see, why am I having these trust issues? What is this coming about? And a lot of times we put the blame on others, right, for our trust issues. Because that person did me wrong, that person lied to me, they put me in a position and now I'm vulnerable. But just like everything else, guys, it always starts with us. We can blame all we want, but at the end of the day, it's an inside job. So, when someone is lying to you, or you've caught someone doing something where they've taken you for granted, we tend to blame ourselves, do we not?
Yeah.
Do we not think, I can't believe I fell for that. I can't believe I let them get one over on me. What the heck's wrong with me? Shouldn't I have known better? Why couldn't I see that what they were saying was wrong? Or, so we're beating ourselves up. Now we're questioning ourselves. Now we're thinking, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe my instincts are wrong. And so now we're going to question everything about ourselves and how we think, and beat ourselves up. And at the same time, we pull ourselves away from others. Because, well, if I can't trust myself, then I don't need to be around people, because I'm going to make bad choices. I'm going to set myself up for the same situation again and again. So I just need to pull away. I hear a lot of people say to me, oh, I just don't really like the people. I don't really want to be around people. I just want to stay inside. I want to be with my dog, or I want to be with my cat. Nothing wrong with that. I love being at home with my dog. And it would be great if we can all just snuggle and stay home with our dogs and never deal with people again. But that's not what we're here for, right? That's not what we're here for. We have a job. We have a job to connect with others. By connecting with others, we're connecting to the higher power. And that's our magic. That's our source, is realizing that we have to connect instead of push away. So, kind of thinking about how can we build better trust in ourselves. Well, it goes along with self-love, self-forgiveness, which we talk a lot about here, because that really is, it's an inside job. So we're working on self-love, we're working on self-trust, we're working on self-forgiveness. So that trust area, we have to go in and look at those situations where we were mad at ourselves, where we said, I can't believe I let them get away with this, and we got to let ourselves off the hook. We got to forgive ourselves. We got to say, it's okay. I was just learning. Of course I didn't know. That's okay. I'm not always supposed to know. Sometimes somebody is going to take me for granted. But guess what? I can forgive myself and I can forgive them. So, by doing both those Now we're clear. We've moved past it, you know. So we have to really figure out how to forgive ourselves, let ourselves off the hook. Then we have to get in tune with our emotions. We have to really listen. When we're feeling funky about something, we gotta start investigating, why am I feeling funky? Why am I feeling this way? We have to become detectives of our own lives. And so we have to kind of start questioning, what is it, you know, for example, I woke up in the morning feeling funky and I'm like, why do I feel this way? You know, why am I feeling off today? I'm sure we've all been like, I just don't feel like myself. Well, we need to actually spend the time to investigate, why am I? Did something happen yesterday? Did I go to bed last night without resolving an issue that was bothering me? You know, and what can I do to resolve that issue now? Because we don't want to let it linger. We don't want it to keep resonating with us. We want to work through it and move past it and release it. We are basically recalibrating our vibration when we do this. So when we get in tune with our feelings, we get in tune with our intuition. And that's our secret weapon, you know, our gut instinct. We're spiritual beings, so we're receiving messages and guidance all the time. But we're not always open to receive them. We kind of, you know, got cloudy, blurry vision because we got all this other junk in the way. So if we can kind of sort through those things and we can get in tune with our feelings and we can tap into those inner messages we're getting, that inner gut feeling. How many of you have second-guessed yourself? Yeah, right, everybody. My favorite example is trivia. I haven't done a lot of trivia, but thanks to us having trivia nights here, I've gotten to do a couple of them. And while I sometimes think I'm good at it, there's been plenty of times when there's been a trivia question and I'm like, oh, I know the answer immediately. But a minute later, I think, oh, wait a minute, maybe it's this answer. And 9 times out of 10, I'll go with that second answer and it'll be wrong. And I'm like, doggone it, I should have went with the first answer. It's a common thing, we all do it. That first answer was the right answer. Why couldn't we trust that first answer? Why did we second guess ourselves? Well, if I'm second guessing that, then I clearly have work to do on my own inner trust issues, because we should be able to hear that inner voice. We should be able to feel that instinct and go, this is the right answer, and stick with that answer. Not immediately follow it by second guessing ourselves. So that shows right there that the work is there that we need to do. You know, another example that I like to add to that is at the grocery store, and I know you guys have been there, when you pick a line to get in and you think it's the right line, you know, and you're like, okay, when that line doesn't move, so you're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get in this line. And then, oh, doggone it, that line doesn't end up being done. And you're just like, seriously, like, why didn't I just stay in that line? So, you know, it's everyday things like that where we are second guessing ourselves. And we need to listen. And, you know, like, it's hard to listen to others, but if we don't start listening to ourselves, I mean, seriously. So, and what I like about the idea of getting more in tune with our trust issues and growing our trust is that it's going to build our relationships with others. Because we're going to be more confident, and I can trust my feeling. I can trust that when I'm around this person, I got this vibe, and I know this vibe is, you know, my inner being telling me, okay, maybe this situation isn't for you, or maybe this person has something going on. Because the other part we have to look at it, and I'm not trying to downplay anybody that has mistreated you or lied to you or taken advantage of you, because that is a painful thing to go through. But we also have to remember that every person that's ever done that to you, they're not doing it to you. They have their own issues they're going through. They don't understand who they are. They're understanding how to process their feelings, and they're putting that onto you. But it's not a personal thing. It's their personal thing. So while we can learn to put those boundaries up, learn to be in tune with how we feel around people, we also got to learn to forgive them and still find a way to love them and accept them, because at the end of the day, we're connected to those people as much as we are the ones we like. You know, we're connected to them all. So we've got to find a way to even forgive those ones that have taken advantage of us, and love them and give them that same compassion, and just know that they're just not in tune with their spirit yet. They're not understanding what they're doing. They're not trying to cause you pain. And 9 times out of 10, they're in more pain than what they're causing you. So it's, tapping into that compassion and learning to trust our own instincts around people. And having those boundaries, because we can love them and still have boundaries. We can have compassion and forgiveness for them and have boundaries. So it's understanding we can do those together. And let's see. So when we build trust in ourselves and we learn to trust our emotions and our inner guidance system, we will be able to connect with others on a deeper level. We really need to strive for this. We really need to work on our connection with others, because I feel like moving forward, that is going to be one of the most vital things that us in the spiritual community need to encourage and be examples of, that we can love and connect with everyone. There shouldn't be a person we can't find a way to connect with, because we are all connected. And that's what the divine wants from us, and that's where the magic is. So if we as humans can strive to release our trust issues, embrace our mutual understanding that we're all learning and growing, and understand that the more we connect with each other, the greater our experience is going to be here at Earth. And who doesn't want to have the best experience we can have here? So that's what I would like to encourage you all to go home and practice. Find ways to practice trusting yourself. Find ways of practicing getting in tune, listening to your feeling, listening to the flip-flop in your stomach, listening to that tingle in the back of your neck, and understanding these are all signals and messages being sent to you. So be open to receive it, and being open to connecting to others. Let's stop pushing people away with our trust issues. Let's start welcoming them in with our love.